Hi everyone, I'm here in Glasgow. Just for cliche's sake, there is a bottle of Buckfast there, and within the last minute someone did go past loudly and aggressively singing Billy Boys, because I'd like to pretend that was just me adding a bit of fake local colour, but I'm a big fan of Glasgow. But like Newcastle, it is what it is, you know. So I was going to go watch a film today, but there's nothing good on, so I thought I'm going to actually go and do something that I tried to do a few months ago when I was here, and find the grave of Mark Sheridan. It's in Cathcart Cemetery. I did try to find it. I looked for ages and I couldn't find. He's got a distinctive pink grave and I didn't find it. So I'm going back. And I've also found out there is another grave in there that is very significant in North East comedy. So let's see if we can find one, both, or more likely, neither. Bus is due now, so I'm going to get the 4 to Cathcart and I'll see you in a bit. I mean, the bus is late, very late. Is that a good sign or a bad sign? I'm going to go with it isn't a sign of anything other than the bus's lateness and maybe, you know, the degradation of the infrastructure of the country. But other than that, it's probably not relevant. Just recording this as proof that I am on a bus, you know, which I believe is the format of these things. I wouldn't want to just be arriving in a different place and you just going, well, I was supposed to just take his word that he was on a bus. Okay. I'm off the bus and memory and Google Maps tells me that the cemetery is down this way. And it is. Look, I mean, I knew it was, to be honest. I'm trying to add some mystery where there is none. The real mystery is whether I find this fucker. So, Mark Sheridan is interesting. Mark Sheridan was a music hall comedian and singer. Before that, he worked in the docks in Hendon in Sunderland in the 1800s, late 1800s. And back in those days, if you worked in a big place like that in manual labour, the bosses would make a point of trying to introduce things that would enrich your life, so entertainment or education, not because they valued you as a person any more than a lot of bosses do now, but because they wanted to provide the entire life for you so that you were kind of dependent on them and you would stay. Mark Sheridan took up studying theatre and he didn't stay. He simply had a lot of talent and he ended up travelling the world as an actor. And he, around South Africa he went to, and, well, you know, places in the world, you know, the world. And he was significant because he was one of the first comedians to talk about working class life. He was known as a musical comic, but he would satirise working class things that wouldn't have been done at the time. So his most famous song is I Do Like to Be Beside the Seaside, which doesn't seem massively funny now because comedy ages terribly. Not mine. But if you listen to the verses, it's the little vignettes of visiting the seaside as a family, people getting drunk and missing out on the whole day and things like that. And he also had songs about going to football, like the football match last Saturday, which again now would seem old hat, but this was 1907, 1908. You got to remember the Football League was only 20 years old or so at the time, as was affordable travel to the seaside. So it would have been very exciting and fresh at that time. He became famous for wartime songs too, during the war. Belgium put the kibosh on the Kaiser, you know, the sort of thing. And we're in here now. Gonna have a little look around. I'll tell you a little bit more about Mark and maybe the other guest, if we find that, if we find any of them. as I go. Now this cemetery is split into two sections, and I did only search this section the last time because the other section seems a bit more unlikely, but also I'm very aware I didn't find it in here, so let's not write that off. It's an unquestionably beautiful cemetery, by the way. I'm not confident. I know it's quite a small grave. A lot of these are very big. And also I've been here before and not found it. And I was recently in Grenoble in France because I had a show, and then I found flights the next day to Geneva. Thomas M. Wilson, it's not him. No disrespect, Thomas. I don't know if you did anything significant in the music hall. Found flights to Geneva for £15. Then went to Grenoble. The reason I went to Grenoble, I'll be honest, is because you could get there on a Flixbus for £8. I could afford to stay there. And it was the first place I thought of in the Alps because it's where Andre the Giant's from. Turns out he isn't. It's just a fake hometown like wrestling does. And I was looking around a graveyard there for quite some time. I don't always do this. I was looking for the grave of Michel Lotito, who is there, who is Monsieur Mange Tout, who people don't remember until I tell them who they are, who he is. And then they go, oh yeah, I remember that. So he was somebody... John Reed. I've been in your road in South Shields. He's somebody who was on television a lot when I was younger. Into this century, really. He was known for eating things that weren't food. Most famously, a Cessna light aircraft. I thought, well, I'd find his grave. I didn't find it. I was looking for maybe someone had eaten it, you know, as a mark of respect. And I considered asking the people who worked there, saying, excuse me, where's Monsieur Mange Tout? But I just felt suddenly embarrassed that they might go, you've come to... Because I was the only person there other than them the whole time. And they'd be like, oh, you've come to all the way to Grenoble alone to find the grave of Monsieur Mange Tout. Like, I was a weirdo. And I was thinking, no, I came because of Andre the Giant, and he's not even from here. So I didn't find it. Doesn't mean I won't find this, though. I mean, it really doesn't. It's not connected. Okay. This is the sort of colour I'm looking... Oh, look at the colours on that grave. That's nice, isn't it? Edith Brownlee and Robert Nish and their daughter. But that sounds really sad, but it was 1924, so she'd have been dead now anyway if she wasn't dead. This is a bit I didn't quite look around the last time, so it also feels like the sort of place it might be. But I'm also hugely... Look, I know that it's... The thing that's made me doubt is I've seen pictures and I'm fairly sure it's near a wall. But I also do feel like I looked near all the walls last time. Is it disrespectful? I feel it is, recording people's graves, but I don't feel it is as much if they're from ages ago. Like, it feels like, is there a statute of limitations for... when you have to give a fuck about stuff? Okay. Oh, this looks interesting. This is annoying me. This is where I would have put it. You know what I mean? If I was going to put the grave of a music hall star, anyway. And it makes sense that it's in Glasgow. First off, he died in Glasgow, but also it was where he was the most famous. Let's have a look through here. Oh. I hope I don't sting myself on a thistle, as they traditionally have in this part of the world. I am glad I got out of the town though, because it's the Old Firm derby in the cup final, and it's not the aggression or so. I'm not like some English person who's like, oh no, Glasgow. It's more just like the absolute stultifyingness of that match sort of hangs over the city, and it's just not as pleasant on those days. And I'm sure people in Newcastle are aware of the similarities. When Newcastle are playing Sunderland, it's like that, but with, you know, obviously other significance. I'm going to assume that's not it, simply because, well, it's not it, but I'm not going to go down there because of the, I don't want, look, I've got a gig tonight, Blackfriars Comedy Club, and I don't want to walk through a quagmire, right? I have walked through a quagmire, and the main question I've come out with is, why am I wearing white trousers? Why can't I make good decisions? It's too big a question to answer now, but I'm nearly 45. It'd be amazing if I suddenly became like the head of JC Penney or something now, wouldn't it? Over there, someone Gerwin, who's Gervin, but he has no relevance to the northeast of England, so in my blink of view, I can't be wasting time. And then I don't think you would do that now. Like there's Thomas Miller, but they've shortened his name to THO, then a little line with an S above it to go, Dad Thomas. We're kind of be writing all at Thomas. I don't know if it was getting charged by the letter, but probably was a perfectly reasonable social convention then, but now it feels hugely disrespectful to how Tommy Boy, didn't it? The late Thomas. But maybe in the style of a Scotsman, he was a skinflint. Is that okay? Well, it's happened now. Just a bit of fun in it. You know. I gig in Scotland loads, man. The lovers, do they? Yeah. Have they got any awareness of your existence, Lee? No. About 6 of them maybe have. Thanks to my 6 Scottish fans, Sockeye the New. I love your Ua Woolly stories and your beautiful... Oh no, I thought that was one of them. I thought that was not Mark, but the other grave. It's just a vaguely similar name that on first glance did catch my attention. So, it's a spoiler if you caught that. You might have been able to, oh, what did that say? It's just tantalisingly close, and there's no way we could possibly rewind or zoom in. And I'm afraid the technology on the internet is not there yet. I have tried, by the way, and I will continue to put half-arsed, I mixed up hearted and arsed there, efforts in to do this again in the future, to get Hendon Docks to pay for a blue plaque for Mark Sheridan. But I do also understand that in a time of sort of a cost of living crisis, probably not that priority. Oh, it's weird when you see newer graves in places like this. A loving and faithful friend and helper. That's nice, isn't it? Now, the other grave is from a grand sort of showbiz tradition, but that doesn't mean necessarily that. I keep checking the big graves, you know, but I don't know what situation she or he died in. And we've got to remember, of course, this is a bonus one as well. Like, the main thing is Mark Sheridan. Oh, what's that? Okay, that's the sort of colour grave I'm looking for. But that is not him. That is the Reverend James McNaught, minister of Abbotsford Parish. Born 1862, died 1894. That's not very long, is it, to be a minister? Well, I suppose it's fine, isn't it? Like, seminary takes as long as it takes. This feels not a bad bet, you know. I didn't look. I'm trying really hard not to walk over graves, even despite my theory that you don't have to give a fuck after a while. It still feels like I should at least be careful. This is the first time where I'm seeing, and I don't think it's necessarily relevant that there's graves of that colour, but this seems the sort of condition I'm looking for. Like, it was definitely, this is the closest I feel I've been, but I'm basing that on very little. I'm making my voice go sort of up like this, like, oh, what's that? This does look like the vague picture I've seen, so this sort of area. Oh, a dog. I hope it's not an attack dog. Why would it be, Lee? Is that a sort of dog? I'm going to have a sniffle round here. Oh, I think I got my hopes up where my hopes should not have been up. See, for example, all of my Edinburgh Festival runs. Come on, Mark. Let us get on with me day. I'm gonna stick around here for a bit. Then, if not here, somewhere else. Obviously, if not here, somewhere else, Lee. Fucking hell. There's Robert Smith out of The Cure. Which, as a goth, he would be happy to be dead without him knowing. And I seem to have a vague recollection now, actually, that he was problematic last year about something. So, you know. There you go, Robert. Karma? Is that karma? Until the day break. That's a nice quote, unless it means something dark. No, really got my hopes up there. I thought that was a very likely place. Of course, the problem is there's so much overgrown now. There's a lot, and all graves are removed or stood down all the time, like when there's a danger of them falling. So it's not impossible that it's unfindable, but that felt like a really good bet. But we go on, we move ever onwards. Not ever onwards, on for a bit more, but like, you know, it's not, I can't just be here in infinity. I've got responsibilities, you know, and I get hungry. And they shut the we've got until we shut the cemetery, really, but with the assumption that I will go before that. That's the sort of grave shape, I think. It's just a little lad, which doesn't befit a man of his standing, although by the end his standing had been diminished. Oh, I wanted it to be there. Life's not fair, is it? It's not the worst thing, Lee. It's not the worst. You know, just enjoy the journey. I can't enjoy journeys. I find them frustrating. Well, you're having a day off your ADHD pills as well today, Lee, so you're going to be a bit erratic, aren't you? And a bit needy. Yeah. Are you talking to yourself now, Lee? No, I'm talking to the people, but you're all replying. Come on, give us a break, will you? I mean, really, this should be clearly signposted, shouldn't it? I guess that's the problem with being mostly forgotten. Probably nobody really comes looking for it often. And people might be thinking, well, why don't you just Google it? See, well, I have. And all Google has told me is that it's in here, not where it is in here. Which is probably for the best, because I wouldn't have bothered making this if I'd just known where it was. And also, arguably, that would be for the best. It's not. All you can do is put your art out there and let other people decide. Yes, it is art. It's a very old graveyard, this, as well, by the way. Like, really old. How old is it, Lee? Well, so old. Are there Adams in there? You know, first man worthy of remembrance. Not my words. The words of God in the Bible. Yep, that was the joke there. The name Adam. John Anderson there, the referee of Gladiators. You can see there is another cemetery, another half of this cemetery over there, which I have yet to check. My instincts last time was that it was all a lot newer. That's not true. Over there is a lot newer, but I'm going to give myself another 10 minutes or so in here. And then I still feel over here seems older and more likely, but I'll try over there. Do you get it? John Anderson of Gladiators, because it's the same name. Hello. He is still alive. He is well into his 90s, so perhaps by the time you see this, he's dead. No, don't say it like that. So I'm saying it. I see this, he's dead. You'd be sad. It would be a shame if John. Well, it wouldn't be a shame. It would be a shame. I'm not saying. Look, it would be a shame when John Anderson of Gladiators died. I know he was. People think of him as just that, but he's also a respected athletics coach for many years and seemingly a nice man. Well, it will be a shame when he dies, but it won't be like. It would. I'm not saying it would be a shame that he dies, because we all do, don't we? And it'd be weird if John Anderson of Gladiators was immortal. I think, as much as a nice man, we know he could have occasionally abused his power. Like, sometimes Wolf hadn't actually really done anything. You know, I think sometimes, even as a nice man, the power of immortality combined with his refereeing duties are not going to be good for anybody's psyche. Still nothing. I'm not confident now. I don't know why I do this to myself. I hate puzzles. You know, like, it just pissed me off. I can't even play Cluedo. So I'm just like, can I just guess now and give a fuck? I don't give a fuck who it was. Was it Reverend Green? No, well, I'm out now. I've tried. Leave us alone. I don't know why I'm... Right. Go back on myself that way, then that way a couple of times, and then have a quick snoop around. Oh, there's more. This cemetery wasn't even here. There's Glasgow, look. There's Glasgow over there. Can't quite work out geographically, is that the south side or... there's a Sainsbury's. So, you know, if you know, yeah, Sainsbury's, if you're like somebody who delivers for Sainsbury's and is trying to place where this is compared to the Sainsbury's that you drive to, hopefully that'll give you enough context. Oh, there's some bags burst open there, which is a good as fine. No, good as fine of anything really, isn't it? It's iron. It's fun. It just seemed to be iron brewed. I'm not even just saying that. In Scotland, just like they do have it. You know, like it is popular. I'm not just. But yeah, I've never been to Scotland. Person watching this, so what do you know? I've been to Scotland upwards of loads of times, and like. Oh, I like this bit. This is... No, don't get your hopes up. Like, there's no reason to assume it's here at all. This is not, is it? Remember, you're looking for 2 graves as well, Lee, so... You know, that's got to give you hope, or make you feel like, fucking hell, you couldn't even find either. That's a nice grave, isn't it? In proud memory. I don't know what they've done, to be honest. I'd be proud of some absolute... horrific events, I don't know. Hopefully they just did a bit of good work for the community. You know, let's not assume the worst of everybody. Should I run? That's what they would do if it was... I don't even know who makes documentaries these days. Oh, fucking Stacey Dooley. And that she'd proper leg it to be like, would she? I don't fucking know anything about her. Just heard her name. Leg it to be like, oh, I've got to find this. I should have given myself a time limit, shouldn't I? And I had a countdown on the corner. I could add one. No, I can't add one. Like, you have to go back and put more work in then, yeah. In memoriam of John Smith. That's not the former Newcastle comedian promoter John Smith. Who is... Oh, there's more fucking graves. John's not dead. That's what I mean by that. Right. It's not worth me looking at... That is it. Well, I'm going to have to now, aren't I? For fuck's sake. You're lucky being dead, you lot, you know. Don't believe how fucking lucky you are. Right, I'm working my way down now. I'm not having a nice time. These seem a bit more modern, so I'm not as hopeful. Right. Not all of them though, but I'm still not hopeful. Why would I be? Clearly, I'm not going to find any, am I? And I know you're thinking, oh, maybe he's probably already found them and he's going to add them. And be like, oh, it's a big thing. Nah, couldn't fucking be bothered. I'm recording these and I'm going to put them in the order that I recorded them. And that's all there is to it. That should be it there. That's what the grave looks like, sort of. But like with different words on. But I'm going to stop filming here because there's some still clearly being tended. So I don't want to be a dick, so unless I find it here, next time I will be somewhere else. Right, no. Have you ever thought what you would like written on your gravestone? Oh, these could be promising. Oh, fuck, they're not promisingly. Well, that could be promising. I know, more or less promising than ever. It'll be fucking annoying because there's just a door, a gate thing there. Could have just. Yeah, but you're not going to find them. I think I would quite like written on mine something like, just Lee Kyle is a corpse now. That'd be good, wouldn't it? You go, ah, he is. Although I don't know when you stop becoming a corpse. Like, what is a corpse? Because it's a dead body, eventually you're not even that, are you? Lee Kyle is a corpse now. And then someone go back. Oh, no one's going to go back and check, are they? And then go, he is now just nothing. It's too much to ask of anyone. Really, like, I don't want to have a go at you, the cemetery body of Scotland. I don't know what you call the Scottish Cemetorial Commission. But you should really be signposted this. It's a significant figure. It would have saved me and anyone watching this a lot of time. There's fucking William Wallace is over there. They're not fucking bothered even marking him, you know. It's a different William Wallace in it. I do like that he's next to John Bruce though, which isn't Robert the Bruce, but it's fucking something, isn't it, that? Oh, that's alright, isn't it? Yeah. I've lost heart, I don't know if you can... is that the right colour? Wait, I'm just looking for any vaguely pink Gravely. You know it isn't. You know what it might be. It's not. If either of these are Mark Sheridan or the other person whose name I've kind of forgotten now, but I'm hoping to recognise when I see it. Oh, hang on. No. No, Lee. Is it? No, again, that's similar to one of the names. Not Mark's, the other one. Oh, got me. That was a close. Oh, actually, no. I know what you're doing. I'm basically just walking around the cemetery now and seeing less and less cogent. Pigeon! Pigeon! Pigeon, do you want to be mates? Pigeon. Pigeon, I wasn't going to I like pigeons, mate. People talk about like that dirty little rat things, but it's just how common they are that makes you forget how nice they look, you know? Nice colours and that on the... Yeah. It's Thomas Taylor there. Now, it's not him, but there's a Tom Taylor who was significant in that he was a satirical writer in the 1800s from Bishop Wearmouth, as it was then in Sunderland. He wrote like plays and satirical articles and stuff, and he ended up writing the play that Abraham Lincoln watched when he was shot. So that's good, isn't it? Not for Lincoln. No, that's not it, Lee. It's not it. Okay. I've been just walking near walls, just on the outskirts for a bit, because I'm fairly convinced that the picture I've seen of it... By the way, I've already seen a picture of it, but the fuck do I need to find it, but the picture I've seen of it was next to a wall. But now, I haven't seen it. There's a bit further over that side of the cemetery, which is quite nice, but it's where I was last time. I didn't see it there, so I don't see much value in checking again. So I'm going to cross the road to the other bit. There's loads of Commonwealth war graves. I'll have a look through here, but losing heart. Losing heart as we go. Let's say to be fair, you don't know, some of these graves are from the year that I would be looking for. So, let's see. Also, it turns out I am on a strict time limit, because even though my phone was fully charged, it's going fast. So, but there's clearly a beautiful bit of forest down there. I'm not going there. Yeah, get a load of that. Thomas H. Gentleman. You know, if I find nothing else, I've found Thomas H. Gentleman. and his beloved wife, Chrissy Cochran, which is a good name in itself. But in those days, you'd think it would be unusual for a woman not to take her husband's name, and she's chosen not to have the name gentleman, which I understand as a woman would in those days before the modern understanding we have of gender now might have been a bit confusing. But imagine turning down the opportunity to be called Chrissy Gentleman. I'll never understand this world. Oh, there's more cemetery. There's always another corner. If it's going to be anywhere that I've not looked, and you know it is, it's on one of these perimeters. I'm fairly certain of that. I've given up on finding the other one, the bonus one, unless I'd happen to stumble upon it. So I'm going to walk the perimeter and then out, and then if not, we'll live to not find this grave another day. Ian Brown there, despite his claims, he isn't the resurrection. Something about being made of stone. Ah, shut up, man. Right, again, there was times I thought I was close, but that side of the cemetery's drawn a blank, so all that remains is one light. You can just tell I'm getting tired. I'm in Scotland and I've had to put on suntan lotion. It's become hot. So, one last walk around bits I've been in hope I've missed things, and then I suppose I'll just have to have been satisfied with an interesting walk. It's very picturesque, isn't it? So we get to the end. This is, in a moment you'll be able to see where we came in, unless one of these graves is going to surprise us. It's Fanny Jackson. There's always Fanny Jackson. I've always said that. And it looks like your old dad's let you down again. So the other grave, we were looking for two. Looking for two, weren't we? And we found none. It was Margaret Jefferson. Who's Margaret Jefferson? Margaret Jefferson is the mother of Stan Laurel. She's buried in here too, apparently. Didn't see her. Obviously she's got a northeast link. She's claimed by a lot of places. Well, Stan Laurel, to be honest. People, no disrespect, Margaret, apparently you're quite a good actor in your day, but, well, presumably you're happy for your son, you know. She herself is from Ulverston, where there's a Laurel and Hardy Museum. Glasgow, obviously. But for our purposes, also heavily linked with Bishop Auckland and North Shields. I'm from South Shields, so I don't like it when they call it Shields and they mean North Shields. And you go, that's not Shields. It's North Shields, that. But we're not going to fall out. They've got, obviously, is it called Stan Laurel Park or something similar, and they've got a statue and that. Would have been nice to see that, wouldn't it? We didn't. Oh, I was thinking, I'll check there. I bet you it's not someone else. But we come to the end of our journey now, and Mark Sheridan, for the second time for me, remains unfound. I bet he's not even fucking here. So, before I say bye, I'm going to tell you a bit about Mark and what I was going to say. His final resting place. Had I found it. Oh, we're off. Yeah, if people do remember Mark Sheridan, and not many do now, they remember him in a way that I don't think is quite fair. So we talked about his successes. He was huge. 1908, 1909, headline act all over Britain. Household name, if such a thing existed in entertainment in those days. But people remember him for the manner of his the manner of his death. About 10 years later, 1918, where he shot himself in Kelvin Grove Park in Glasgow now. The story that people know is that he was a comedian who shot himself because of bad reviews. And that's, if you've heard of him, you've heard of him through that. And he certainly wasn't the star he had been. He'd struggled with the downfall of the music hall. It wasn't a lot of a place to go, but it was still a big deal. He'd set up a comedy burlesque, which burlesque doesn't have the meaning then that it does now. It's just a comedy review show with his family, and it was, he'd sunk the last remaining bit of his money into it. And the story is that it went terribly and was panned, and that drove him to kill himself. But the actual truth is, it was quite successful. The story is better than the reality, but certainly doesn't exist any contemporaneous reviews from that time now anybody can find that suggest it was a bad show at all. Nobody was suggesting it was going to be propelling back to the star that he had, but the reviews were pretty good. And indeed, it had a long run, and after he died, it kept running. His family kept the show going for a number of years, so the idea that it was a failure isn't quite true. It did lead to a bit of a theory that it was certainly his gun that did it, but that he may have been murdered. I don't think there's any reason to assume that. It seems a fairly cut and dry and sad case. But I think it's only fair to remember him for the thing he was, not the thing he wasn't, which is a very important stepping stone in terms of how comedy is done, certainly in Britain, as a voice for the working classes, even though he very quickly lost his accent, which I think, to be fair, you were trained to do in those days. And at the end of the day, I do like to be beside the seaside. It's good, isn't it? Not as bothered about the brass bands. We don't need the brass bands. So yeah, sorry, we didn't find it. Or the other one. But I have heard that there is an 18th century African lion tamer buried in Sunderland. So watch this space if I remember to take my tablets and carry out any of the things I had planned. It's so hot. Scotland, you're just such a liar. Unlucky.